Hi, Coach. Good to see you again, and excited about the new season. I'm sure you're ready to get things going here as well. What's your initial thoughts here as you get ready for another season?
I think everything you said. I'm excited for the players. I'd probably go back 12 months ago and say the same thing. 24 months ago, say the same thing. I mean, they're excited for themselves, for one another. It's been a good 5 weeks on the ice. You extend that three months or 4 months or whatever with the summer since last spring. It's an exciting time in our sport because all these boys are ready to go. So that's what I feel. The coach in me always wants more and process and all those kind of things. But at the end of the day, what we're happy for is the boys get to play somebody else and they see the fruits of their efforts over the last 5 months.
When the preseason polls come out, and doesn't seem like a lot of folks are looking for Miami to do a whole heck of a lot at this year. And talking with some of the players over the last few days, they seem to think I'm sure this is reality, that it lights a little bit of a fire underneath them. And it's a motivational factor to show that they do belong. And so how do you try to keep that outside noise away from the guys to just focus on the job at hand?
Well, I don't ever talk about it. That's one way. But there's no way you keep it away from them, Wads. The internet, obviously social media, people are allowed to have an opinion. We feel different. We know we belong. Unfortunately, we just haven't been consistent enough with it. Last year at times we played really well, and last year at times we played poorly. But that was last year. And I think a lot of the preseason stuff, opinion, is based on last year. And that's fine. If anyone's going to take full ownership of what people think going into the season, that's me. These boys don't deserve that. These boys deserve better than that. If people want to point fingers, point them at me, which I know that's happening. But our focus is our process on a daily basis, our work ethic, our mental approach, all those kind of things. Nothing has changed that way. What we need to do better, Wads, is when we get popped in the mouth, we need to react to that better. You can think back again. The only way you do is you think back. And after last year's October, it was pretty good. Right. And people were talking about us, even though a month prior they weren't, at least positively. And then, unfortunately, from November on, maybe we played to the expectations going into the season of people outside of this program. So we need to be more consistent with the best version of us. Where does that start? The best version of the individual. That's never going to change, that message. What people are saying about us, let them say it.
Let's talk about the makeup of the team now. College sports, the nature of that, you're going to have turnover every year. Throw in transfer portal, of which you and I will not talk about here now because that's a conversation for another day. That said, though, that can help. It obviously, you lose some players because of that, but you're also able to replace some keys. You've got some veteran players that are going to be able to come in here and kind of step in.
Yeah, we're going to look at the 18 returners. That'll always be the case, the returning guys. 9 new faces. Unfortunately, one of those new faces probably won't be able to be on the ice until at least the new year. So 8 new faces. And what we've done, Wads, is we've gone back a couple of years and looked at the things we've done okay and the things we haven't done when welcoming those new people. Now, 3 of those 7 new faces, or 8 new faces, are freshmen, so they don't know any different. The other ones are coming from another program. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build relationships and trying to build a level of trust on the fly. The freshmen, I don't want to say they don't know any better, but quite honestly, they don't know any better because they're freshmen. And they've built up trust and relationship, at least somewhat, through the process of recruiting. The transfer portal has made it really, I mean, a lot of these kids didn't even visit Miami until after they had verbally committed, so you're building relationships and trust on the go now. And we've learned that our new people, whether we played 1 year in another program or 3, are coming from another program. And I do think they came here for reasons, but the only way we know how to coach is to build off of relationships and a level of trust, because we're asking them to play the game a certain way. We want them to trust us. That's the right way. So that is what we're focusing on with these new guys. The 18 returners are the guys we're leaning on. Hopefully real quick here, if not already, we'll be a family of 26, 27 when we get healthy. And the 23, 24 version of Miami will be this group. But that's what's going on. They do spend a lot of time together, away from the rink, especially in the month of September, which is a good thing as we build that family, that trust from player to player, player to coach, and whatever it is. So now it's time to play games and deal with the adversity, and that will bring us closer together as well. So it's time. It's the next step in this process of building the 23-24 group.
And to clarify for people who might not know, you're talking about Albin Nielsen, the one player who will hopefully be back right after Christmas time. Returning players, you get Jack Clement back, second-year team captain. Logan Neaton will be in goal. Goaltending situation is going to have a little bit different look to it this year, but you got Logan Neaton, who got some significant time late in the season last year. Yeah. Seems like he's got a fire lit under him too.
Yeah, the stability in the spring of 2023 came when Clement and Neaton said they're coming back. Those two boys are special human beings. And for them to both come back and say they're coming back, it kind of went against what else was happening when guys were leaving the program. So that was a good thing. This month of September and through the summer, it's proven to be absolutely true. Those two guys are great. We add Hampus Rydquist to that leadership core. And I think we're in great hands with those three guys. But, then you start to think about Fletcher, you start to think about Dasky, you think Barbs, and that's up front. We've got a big sophomore class that were all freshmen last year, and they all were thrown in the fire big time. So we need them to be a big part of this thing too. So it's again, we're going to look at the 18 returners to be our stabilizing factor, to be our core. And I do believe the new people to this program, whether it's first year or fourth year in college hockey, are fitting in nice.
And one final thing, Ferris State, that's who you get to kick off and play somebody with a somewhat different color uniform. It's kind of still red. But that said, to talk about Ferris State, their building is a unique setting in itself, of which you and I have seen that building many times in the old CCHA days and then your time at the other place.
Well, first and foremost, I truly appreciate their willingness to play us every year on this weekend. Coach Daniels, Coach Famulak, Coach Kaufman are people that I've known for a long time. I consider them friends, and I 100% believe in the program they're running and how they do things there. But you're exactly right. It's a small rink. It happens quick. Both teams are hungry to play somebody else, and that's really the extent of it. Wads, we can go back and watch their games in the spring. They can go back and watch ours, but that was last year. We're right now. Our focus is us, but we will prepare our boys to play against a hungry group of guys that want to play somebody else just like they do, and a well-coached team, because we know they've been well-coached. This is Coach's 32nd year at Ferris, or something in that range. So they're going to be well-coached, and that's the extent of it. We'll go on the bus on Friday and go up there and hopefully put forth a good effort.
Captain Jack, back for year number 2 as team captain. So just your thoughts of finally now getting a chance to play against another team and get things going for real.
Yeah, I mean, we're all excited. Obviously, we've been at it training camp for a little while now, going on about 5 weeks. So we're definitely excited to see a different opponent. Sick of kind of going against each other in practice. Definitely looking forward to playing someone else.
For you personally now, second year as a team captain. That doesn't happen very often. We're kind of in unique times, though, and you're getting a chance to come back for a fifth year. Kind of a two-pronged here. One, second-year captain, what do you know now that you didn't know this time last year? And two, what is it like coming back as a fifth-year player here to the school that you went to for the first 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice having a year under my belt kind of in this role. No matter how the season goes, ups or downs, obviously we struggled a bit last year. But that's when you look internally, and there's stuff that I can think of last year that I can do better, whether it's handling situations off the ice or just kind of my everyday approach to the rink. So I think that I can lean on who I was last year and just being consistent with that. But still, there's opportunities to grow and talk to the coaches more and kind of point them in certain directions that maybe stuff that last year that went on that they can know about.
Now being a fifth-year player too, what is that mindset like? Because kind of a luxury, I guess, is with this roster. Now, there was a lot of turnover from the roster a year ago, but there's some veterans coming in here too because of transfers and being fifth-year players as well. So you kind of not unique. There's other fifth-year players on this team.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's definitely, you can lean on that experience a little bit, especially, even different transfers we brought in. A lot of people have experience playing high-level college hockey, so that's something we're going to lean on this year for sure, and hopefully that translates to wins.
And then as far as the players, the returning guys that are coming back here, there were a lot of freshmen a year ago now that have moved up a year that got a lot of good experience as well. That will blend with that experience that you just talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a great job last year as freshmen, that class. That's, I don't know, there's maybe 12 or 13 guys in that class now, which is obviously pretty crazy, but they've got experience under their belt from last year. I think that all of them are prime opportunity to build off that, and I think they'll be big contributors this year.
Does the team kind of where they were picked in the preseason, does that kind of incentivize the guys to say, you know what, they're not even looking at us right now, so let's sneak up on everybody?
Oh, it lights a fire under you for sure. Anytime you're picked to finish last in the division, you take that as disrespect. Obviously, we've struggled the past few years, but we got a bunch of guys in that room that are looking to change things around here.
And finally, let's talk about Ferris State. So a team that you played actually each of the last 2 years as well, so they've got a couple of their goalies returning. They've got their leading scorers back from a year ago. So tell me what you know about Ferris State.
Yeah, we kind of looked at them a little bit today. I think they, finished the year last year pretty solid. So, yeah, definitely an experienced group, and I think they play in their building really well too. It's a little bit of a smaller rink, so kind of use that to their advantage a little bit. So we got to be ready right from the hop.